Oh, good morning. Henry McClure live. So we got a morning call going. We're going to check in with a few people. So there's this guy on Facebook that seems to be very colorful, and a friend of mine through Facebook. And you know how you randomly collect people over on Facebook. So this is one of those random friends, and we're going to see if we can get Steven on the phone. I'm just kind of like woke up sleepwalking, trying to get my day a moving. So let's see if we can get Steven on the line. This call's at random. No setup. No meeting. No interview. Winging it.
You have reached the voicemail box of 91342.
I guess I could have put his phone number out there. It is on Facebook. But anyway, so let's see if we can raise old Reliable.
Mark Cardullo.
Well, we can't get a hold of Mr. C. See if Bianca's up. It's like, this is my version of making Craig phone calls. Actually, call my friends and just put them on the net. I don't know who this is. Henry McClure.
It is urgent, however, that you contact us concerning your eligibility for lowering your interest rates to as little as 6.9%. Your eligibility expires shortly, so please consider this your final notice. Please press 1 now on your phone to speak with a live operator and lower your interest rate.
Let it be my final.
To discontinue further notices. Thank you and have a great day.
I hope it said press 2 for final notices. Anyway, I don't have any credit cards. If there's one thing smart I've done over time, which you want them to accumulate, is to get rid of credit cards. Cash basis. All right, so feel free to call in if you'd like to be live on the Henry McClure Show. We'll go live on Periscope and see if we can get any more followers this way. So we're going live out to YouTube. I don't have a lot of followers on YouTube, but my Twitter following is pretty good. But this does send a notice to Twitter that you can jump on. Big day today. Big day plan. Got to go down to Cox Cable and get a new modem. So that's good. My friend Nicole hooked me up. Let's see. And then I'm going to work on this. My job today is to get that mess cleaned up. Well, we're going to cut today's call short. Here, let's try Stephen again.
Good morning, Steve.
Henry McClure live.
What's going on?
How are you?
Can't complain.
Well, if you did, who'd listen?
That's exactly right.
So, am I catching you at a bad time? You got 5 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, you're just live on the Henry McClure show. It's
Beautiful, beautiful.
yeah, it's my attempt to revive the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Oh, that's outstanding. Everybody's got to have goals.
Well, I do better in the real estate business than I do in the media business, but you know, you got to broaden yourself, right?
Oh, you got to double down. You got to have a plan A, B, and in my case, C, D, E, F, and G.
I agree with you to infinity. So I was trying to figure out how we met, or you know, or just like connected on Facebook.
You know, I don't know. I'd have to say it's probably something upstairs, man. You know, I mean, I think God puts a couple of knuckleheads together for a reason. I guess we're figuring that out.
Well, that's cool. So I admire a lot of your posts on Facebook. You look like, well, number one, your job just looks fun as hell. You know, you're traveling around, you're covering sporting events, you're always hanging, anybody that gets to work with Amy, you know, and all these pretty gals. So looks like you're living the life. That's cool.
Yeah, it's the only life I got. You know what I mean? So I figure, it's showtime, not a dress rehearsal. And it's time to put the pedal to the floor. And I just enjoy every second of every day, man, because you're definitely not promised tomorrow.
That's I'm with you on that. So tell me about your business and promote your business a little bit. You know, we're out live right now. I've got about 14,200 followers on Twitter, and this goes out live to my Twitter feed, and we're simulcasting on YouTube and Periscope, and my Periscope channel's got I don't know, 400 followers, and my YouTube's only got 25.
I'll be damned. Yeah, no, I mean, well, I own a lawn landscape business, you know. I mean, I started mowing lawns back when I was in third grade, with my dad's lawn boy and a can of gasoline. I'd go out and make money on the weekends and just kind of enjoy being outside, and the sun's shining, birds are chirping, and so I decided to start my own company a little over 10 years ago, and I work for myself. I'm an entrepreneur, and I really don't like necessarily working for other people, making them money. I'd rather do it myself. And so so I started Freedom Lawn Landscape, and took me about 2 weeks to come up with that name, but I whittled whittled all the names that I had to name my company down to, well, probably the greatest word in English language, freedom. And so I figured it was catchy, so I ran with that. And
well, okay, now hang on a second here.
yeah,
Now, somewhere in there, you became a veteran. So was this?
yeah, absolutely. I served my country honorably for 3 years, active duty. 1st Infantry Division, 1st of the 5th Field Artillery. I was a 31 kilo combat signaler. I decided, basically to join the Army to, protect my country and protect my flag.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. My dad was in the Army Air Corps, and his dad got him a gig on the Border Patrol, and he kind of thought that was lame, and he wanted to be a pilot. And then he joined the Army, and but they made him a navigator.
I'll be damned. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, got to have a sense of direction.
My dad never told me anything about it until I showed him a piece of the surrender deck that I've got from the mighty Missouri.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's kind of one of those things, man, where I God bless all the troops and all the veterans, man, and obviously we're coming up on Veterans Day here, pretty quick. And matter of fact, we've got Shamrock FC 297 at the Lumiere Casino, 7:30 p.m. On Veterans Day, and I know it's going to be a huge event, and going to honor those men and women that have served our country. So
you served your country, and then you have your landscaping business. So did you serve, then start the landscaping, or did the service come?
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically, I got out of, went to high school, got out of high school, and then, went in the military for 3 years.
All right.
And then I got out of the military, and I met a knucklehead named Tommy Morrison. And anyway, we started, we kind of became, drinking buddies there. And next thing I know, he tells me that he's going to try out for Rocky V, and I couldn't believe the hell they were making another one, to be honest with you. Anyway, I said, I told him, that's cool, man, hell, you might even be able to get to meet him and, take a picture or something. And then
you mean get to meet Rocky Balboa?
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone, and and so well, he came back, and hell, he got the part of the movie, and so and it's kind of cool that I was a good friend of his, and so he kind of took me along for the ride.
So did you meet Sly?
I'm sorry, say again.
Did you meet Sylvester?
I have, yeah.
So how tall are you?
Me, I'm about 6'1".
Yeah, you kind of towered over him, didn't you?
Yeah, he's a little bitty guy.
No, I know it. It's amazing. I met him in L.A. And
yeah.
I'm all of 5'9", and like we're eye to eye.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Actually, matter of fact, I hung out with his brother Frank Stallone down there at the Tommy Morrison ESPN 30 for 30 deal they had about a month ago down there in Oklahoma, man. And I've hung out with Frank a few times, during the years. And yeah, he's a great cat.
All right, so you've fast forward to starting your announcing career.
Yeah, well, we got to backtrack on that. I've been doing it for over 25 years. So,
okay.
But Tommy was the one that kind of got me into it. Obviously knowing him and being a buddy of his and hanging around, boxing and stuff like that. They didn't even have MMA back then. All it was boxing. And so I really, fell in love with the sport, knowing him. And one night we were down at Memorial Hall in Kansas City, and the promoter of the fight came around, and he was white as a ghost. And Tommy asked me, he said, well, what's going on, And he said, well, my announcer got in a car wreck, and I don't have an announcer for the fight. So, I'm sitting next to Tommy, and Tommy was just like, Bear Man, just get up there and do what you do, dude. And so I was like, well, all right, I'll give it a shot,
That's cool.
And so I got up there and I announced the fight. And then after it was over, apparently there was about 4 or 5 other promoters in the crowd, came up to me and were like, hey, listen, I want you to announce all my fights, man. And so they were like, well, how much do you charge? I'm like, well, hell, how much you got? I didn't even know you got paid for something like that. So I was having so much fun, I felt like I owed them money.
Okay.
And so,
Fair enough.
So next thing I know, man, I started announcing every fight in Kansas City, through the 1990s and, into the mid 2000s. And, I really just enjoyed it. I had to go out and buy me a tuxedo, and,
Well, you always look sharp, and it looks, I would never know you even had a landscaping business. It looks like this full-time work.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, I kind of wear a lot of different hats, but they tell me I clean up well.
Well, I appreciate you making time to tell your story and get it out there. I know I just caught you, man. I know I caught you on the fly, but
no, it's all good. I mean, and the amazing thing is that it all started, man, and it was Christmas 1966, and it was explained to me that I was conceived on a beach in Maui. And Grandma went to bed at 8, and it was a big bottle of Merlot. And that's how I got down here. Hell, it still tickles me to this day. I was the fastest sperm on that one day. I don't even know how I really got down here, to be honest with you.
Well, I kind of understand that. My mom and dad adopted 3 kids before they had me. And
I was adopted.
Well, wow.
Yeah, I was adopted, as a matter of fact.
Well, everybody thought I was a spoiled, rotten brat because I was the natural one. But I'm telling you what, my mom treated every kid the same, and my dad even more so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was kind of glad abortion was illegal back then, to be honest with you.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
Well, I mean, hell, man, if it hadn't have been illegal, I might not even be here. I mean, that's something to think about. And, so I was adopted. Actually, I know my biological mom. I hired a private investigator about 10 years ago to find my biological family, and she did. And so I got to meet my biological mom. They live out in Scottsdale, Arizona. As a matter of fact, I got to meet my biological grandparents before they passed away, which that was a blessing. And my biological grandfather, Frank Schaefer, was actually General MacArthur's personal bodyguard during World War II. And I've actually got a picture of General MacArthur putting a bronze star on his chest.
Oh, that's cool.
On the beach. Yeah, I mean, talk about cool. He had, he was kind of like a Forrest Gump. He actually served 30 years active duty in the military, and then he got out of the military and became, worked his way up to become a captain of the Phoenix Police Department, and he was actually the officer on duty for the original Miranda case.
Okay, so now what are the chances of this? Because the threads that we Oh, hang on just a second. Hey, Bianca.
Yeah.
I'm on a morning call. So, you want to go have breakfast? All right, I'll catch you in just a minute. Let me finish this up. I love you. All right. That's my daughter. So,
Beautiful.
Harry Comrie was my dad's law partner. And Harry Comrie wrote the GI Bill of Rights.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
So I actually as a child went out to breakfast with Harry Comrie. Dad was take us down on Saturday, and like Harry would take us out to breakfast to get out from Dad's feet so he could get some work done.
Sure.
So my dad, or possibly my dad, but for sure Harry Comrie would have met your biological grandfather because, Harry tried to get MacArthur to be president, and he was the head of the American Legion, and so he would have had a day-to-day relationship with Harry, or with Harry and MacArthur.
I'll be damned. Well, you can, my grandfather is immortalized in the MacArthur Memorial in the Philippines. And I don't know if you've seen it or you're aware of it or anything like that.
No, because Harry wrote the Constitution to the Philippines.
I'll be done. Well, I guess.
Right here in Topeka, Kansas.
Because my grandfather is actually the statue that's not wearing the helmet. In the MacArthur Memorial, you got 7 statues of guys and General MacArthur in a clear pool of water. And my grandfather Frank is the one without the helmet. And I asked him, why weren't you wearing a helmet? And he said, I didn't need one. He was big old guy, probably 6'4", probably 265 pounds. And, I tell you, man, he ate nails for breakfast. There wasn't any air conditioning. And, this guy, they don't make guys like that anymore.
No, I get it. I was going through some stuff the other day. I found this box, and I opened up the box, and it was like this really neat box. And then I noticed there was a panel, and it had a secret panel. I opened that up, and I found my mom's pass to get on the base at 29 Palms. Dad was on the Manhattan Project, and he was.
Well, that's weird, dude. The Manhattan Project. Now, here's another weird one. My other grandfather, from my mom's side, his name was Gene Brim. And he actually worked with Oppenheimer on the Manhattan Project over in Sweden.
Oh man!
And he was a chemist, and actually, they all knew what they were doing. They all didn't say nothing about it, but he was a very integral part of that Manhattan Project. And so,
well, there were 5 crews of 5 in the Army Air Corps that trained to drop the bombs. And my dad never flew the mission, but he was the first B-29 to fly over the mighty Missouri when the Emperor signed the treaty.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, when I produced this block of the Missouri, because my drinking buddy was Wes Carey. Do you ever see the movie Under Siege?
Yeah.
Wes is in that movie. So he was officer of the deck of the Mo. When they decommissioned it in Long Beach, I lived out there. He gave me a piece of it. So I showed it to Dad. He started crying, and he told me the story.
Man, that's cool.
Oh, I know it, man.
You can't make that stuff up.
No, you can't.
And that's the whole thing, and that's one of the reasons why, I just, for the life of me, don't understand how come these stupid football players want to take a knee or sit down during the national anthem.
Okay, so did you ever do athletics as a kid?
Absolutely, yeah. I played soccer and I played basketball, in high school and college.
So soccer is a motherfucker, and that's a grueling sport. So, so you played college ball and basketball. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I grew up with soccer. I played it for about 22 years, growing up, through all the way through high school and college, and then basketball. I started playing about 8th grade, and was good enough to make the school team. And it was back then. It was a good way to to get chicks.
Oh, absolutely.
Sports.
I was a 2-time state gymnastics champion. And then I went on to KU, and I was a yell leader.
I was a yell leader too, as a matter of fact. The only reason I became a yell leader was just so I could look up their skirts.
Well, absolutely. So, but I could walk on my hands from one end of Allen Fieldhouse to another, and there are people that know me for that.
Good God, man, that almost sounds like a sobriety test, for Christ's sake.
Oh, well, actually, I got out of a DUI at KU for not taking the breath test, but doing a backflip in my hiking boots and telling the guy, look, I live right over there. Just let me drive home. And they arrested me.
Well, I got the coordination of a slug in a salt jar, so I would have failed that test.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is, like, when I won my first state championship, the view never changed. You know what I mean? You get this entitlement, you got this ego working, and there's nothing worse than entitled athlete. And I think of these spoiled brats. They got to pass all the way through life to stand there at the show. Actually, I performed on Arrowhead once,
right,
as a yell leader, and KU got to go up, and there was a guy named John Lohmeyer that ended up being a real estate client of mine. But what I'm getting at is, like, I could never fathom this Lohmeyer ever taking a knee and the bullshit. Like,
right.
It's just.
Well, the thing is that and I don't blame the players. I mean, just look at them. You already know what you're dealing with them. You know what I'm saying?
You mean as
far as thank God that they had a God's gift to carry a football or shoot a basketball, because that's the only thing that they got going for them. I blame the owners, and I blame the league, because they didn't because they allowed them to do that.
Right.
It's the tail wagging the dog. I've never seen a company that allows their employees to run the show.
Right. So
what I mean?
So what I'm getting at today, and this is what I don't understand, and most of the pro athletes that I know that have done any good, like, I met this guy, Sean Brunstein, I think is his name. He owns Scooter's Coffee. And I met him one day, and he's got, like, these big old hands. I go, fuck, you look like you should play football. And well, he did. He was like, and like, he kind of liked that I didn't know that he was a star. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But, like, so what is the dog in the hunt for the fans? Why are you even in the stands? What's your, what does this really mean? Where is this taking us?
Yeah, man, it just, well, that's the whole thing. I mean, I think I've got an appreciation maybe for this flag in this country a little bit more than, the armchair quarterback in the stands, shoving a hot dog down his throat. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
And,
I get it.
And that's fine. And that's fine. Listen, hey, you want to go to the football game, go to the football game if that doesn't bother you. But,
I never was in the service, but I mean, you can tell I've been around it, and
right.
And, like,
got a respect for it.
Man, the sense of history, it's like all the people that gave their lives to be here today to have, it's just, okay, so you have the freedom to be an idiot.
Well, you do, and that's the whole thing. You got a freedom to be an idiot, but you also got a freedom to be fired. You don't have a First Amendment right being an employee. Everybody wants to be like, well, he's got the right. Well, yeah, he's got the right, but the owner's got the right to fire him because he's pissing off all the people and the veterans and disrespecting the soldiers. And I can tell you right now, if I took a knee in my profession, in the cage or in the ring, I'd be fired immediately. because we have a higher standard, obviously.
Well, thank God we do.
The NFL or than you know or the NBA, you know, for that matter. So you know, you got to respect the country. You got to respect the flag, and I don't care who you are. And if you don't respect the country or the flag or the soldiers or the veterans, I got no use for you. So I mean, the NFL's dead to me. So's the NBA. They're dead to me, which is sad because I love sports and I watch sports, but they show me their true colors. And they'll never get another dime. I used to go to every game with my son last year. You know, and you know, when he's, you know, been growing up, we go to every Chiefs game. You know, but hell, I'm enjoying it now. I'm saving $500 every Sunday, not taking into a game. Hell, I think we might go on a vacation. You know, and enjoy that money somewhere else. So I'm not having to pay $60 for parking or $10 for a beer and everything like that. You know, they obviously didn't appreciate my money, so I don't appreciate them.
I'm with you loud and clear. Look, I want to wrap this call up, but I want to thank you for taking time. I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for your attitude. And
no problem.
I look forward to meeting you
Well,
sometime in the future.
Come on up to the fight. I mean, we're going to be at Ameristar Casino November 18th for Shamrock FC. It's going to be a great time. We got a great card. Looks like we're going to have about 12 to 14 fights that night. And love to shake your hand, and I'll let security know you're a buddy of mine. Get you up in that octagon and take some pictures.
Hey, will Amy be there?
Amy, I don't know. No, she'll be there or not, man. I'll definitely be inviting her. She actually lives in Kentucky, and so we've actually talked about getting together for Shamrock 300 on December 1st at River City Casino. And then the next night I'll be announcing on CBS Sports. I'll be announcing the Nico Hernandez fight on CBS Sports in Wichita. So we kind of looked at those two dates as, we get together that weekend and just kind of make an announcing weekend out of it.
Well, hey, I want you to have a great day. It looks like we got abundant sunshine here in Kansas. And I think we might get up. I think I heard the weather might get up to 70 degrees. So looks like a nice day.
That's perfect, man. That's good mowing weather.
Well, I got history mowing too. That's a whole nother story. I spent years and years on a Ford 3000 tractor.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
All right. Well, hey, I'm going to say.
Appreciate the phone call, buddy.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for being on the morning call.
Hey, not a problem. You take care of yourself.
All right, Henry McClure live. Okay, so over the course of a phone call, the threads of where our lives intersected. So if his grandfather, his grandfather was was MacArthur's guard. I'm agreeing with him. I'm not questioning it. But think about it. So Harry wanted MacArthur to be president. And so Harry would have, he's head of the American Legion. He's drafting the GI Bill of Rights. Harry knows all these guys. He wrote the Philippine Treaty. So Harry would have met this guy's granddad. And so my dad did run around with Harry from time to time on some of Harry's missions. But it's a small universe. And we have to be proud of those connections. It's not bragging if it's the truth. What do you say, Wilson? Well, Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson turned, in dog years, 58 years old. So Charlie and I are now the same age. Well, you stink. Here, put your feet up here. All right. Go on. You know, sometimes my ex-wives or some ex-wife, some of my girlfriends I've felt like they've been wives. One of them I'm still crazy about, but you know, some of them have made me feel bad for like the genealogy thing, and I don't know. It's you know, that's pretty weak and lame. We should be proud of our heritage. You should know where you came from. And you know something? If you don't have enough really neat stuff in the background from your history, just make it today. That's all you got to do. Make your own history. So I'd like to thank Stephen for being on the morning call. And what a good guy. What a character. And the threads, you know, do things happen for a reason or at random? And I think at random for a reason. But so I got to give Bianca a call, and just want anybody that watched this, just I want you to know Henry McClure loves you.